All right, welcome to another episode of Homestead Shop Talk Podcast with Al from Lumna Acres, Ben from Holler Homestead, and myself, Jason from Sow the Land, and this is episode 77.
Crazy.
So did you guys get a Christmas tree yet? Did you put one up?
Not yet.
Man, we had a Christmas tree Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay. Did you just chop it down, or did you go buy one?
Oh no, I chopped it down. We're like running out of decent trees. Like 2 years ago, there's a whole bunch of like awesome trees. Well, trees grow. And so like the ones that were good prospects are now too tall and too lanky. And so I'm looking around. I'm going to have to, we almost wound up with a cedar tree as a Christmas tree this year, but I found one that I was able to cut down and use.
Yeah, we put one up this week. That's one thing that we did this week. We went to go buy one at Lowe's.
At Lowe's.
Yeah.
Did you get a fake one or a real one?
No, it's a real one. It's a real one. Yeah. They just had two sizes there. I think it's probably one of the cheaper places to buy a real tree is probably there. But I'm with you because I would love to go out there and chop one down. So I'm thinking about planting some Christmas trees.
That'd be cool.
Like just go get a bunch. I don't know. Like plant 5 a year or something. Pick a spot. And so, it's going to take some years for them to grow. But then once they grow, like just once a year, just chop down your own tree.
You wouldn't have to plant very many. Plant a couple a year,
save money,
and then all of a sudden you'd have Christmas trees the rest of your life.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, whoa, wait, we're going too crazy with these Christmas trees. Now we got a bunch of trees out there. Like, oh, I didn't get to this one, and now it's like 10 feet tall.
Yep. I cut one down for my brother, but we haven't got one for us yet.
Oh, do you usually go on and cut them down, Al?
Yeah.
You get one?
We usually go on our property, find one somewhere.
That's cool.
We got the indoor cats now, and they've been a little rambunctious this winter, and I'm like, if we put one up too early, the cats are going to have that down on the ground pretty quickly.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's like a dream, right? Isn't it? Like just go on your property and just chop down your own tree, your own Christmas tree. Isn't that like I don't know.
It's a bucket list thing right there.
In movies. Yeah. Growing up, you watch the Christmas movie and they're like, the family's going out and just finding a tree and chopping it down. Like that's like
we always pick
dream.
It started as a joke when we first got our other property. Before we even moved back up, we were up here and we were going to my in-laws for Christmas, and we stopped at the property and we cut down a wicked Charlie Brown Christmas tree while they were at work. So I brought it to their house and I made like a cross out of wood for the stand, and we stuck it in their living room.
Yeah.
And they actually liked it. I figured I was going to get a hard time. So ever since then, we've cut down our own Christmas trees and just pick a nice, fun Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Brown Christmas trees are the best.
It's not really.
I think so. I agree. I think that's like the tradition. That's what a Christmas tree should look like.
I know. They're so darn expensive now, Christmas trees. But so yeah, I mean, if you planted a few, like you'd actually save money.
What are they going for at Lowe's in your area?
They're like $70.
Oh wow! I've seen a bunch of like you pick Christmas tree farms, and they were $50. I thought that was kind of expensive.
I wonder what size, but
right.
The one we bought's not like giant or nothing, but still, yeah, they're a lot for it. You're basically just buying a dead tree.
Would your pigs eat it? Would they eat the needles off of it, you think?
I don't know. I've never fed Christmas trees to pigs. I don't know if they would, because by that time it's all brittle. By the time you get rid of it, probably.
I know the goats love it. They would love them brittle. And then the Highland cattle, we gave them. It was a fresh Christmas tree. The pot that we took off of my brother's tree, we threw that to the bottom of it to them, and they were eating that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll try it, but I don't know. I don't think they will.
I know when we're done with
what the heck is
done with ours, I'm going to feed it to the wood chipper.
Right.
Yeah, or that. Right. I guess it's some free wood chips, I guess. Or not free, but All right. So, is it snowing there, Al?
It is.
We gotta talk about the weather first before we get going.
I think we got 2 inches coming tonight, and we probably already have 6 inches or more on the ground. But then Wednesday, so we're recording this on Monday. Wednesday, they're calling for 2 inches of rain. So that's going to make a mess.
Oh, it's just gonna be muddy mess.
I think it's just going to get slushy and nasty, and then it's going to freeze, and then we're going to have an ice skating rink everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
Is this
just
more
stay
like your
winter,
normal
keep
weather?
the cold weather. But then on the same hand, I guess if this 2 inches of rain would probably be 2 feet of snow if it was in snow form instead of rain.
I think Instagram just notified me today in my memories of it was like 6 years ago. They called it snowpocalypse over here because we had I think it was like 18 inches of snow.
That's a lot of
Wow.
snow. We were on the road. We had just came through North Carolina, and I remember seeing like everybody who lived out here was posting all the snow, and it was like, oh man, we missed it. We need to go back.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever experienced as far as snow. And
How long did it last?
It was, I think it was at least a few days. I mean, maybe longer. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that bad. I mean, I think that's the year also, I want to say we lost power during that time as well. You know, we're on all electricity. And I think that is the first where I installed my wood stove in my mobile home. So I think I had just finished the wood stove, and then the snow happened and we lost power for like 8 hours. So
Perfect timing.
It was perfect. But yeah, just you know, shoveling the chickens out of the chicken tractor, you know, it's just kind of fun. I have a video on it. Yeah. I had to rewatch that video again because I was like, man, that was a lot of snow. Yep. It's just night and day compared to like today or this week over here. It's like warmed up and it's not snow at all.
Because you guys were cold last weekend, right?
Yeah, we were cold last weekend.
It was all last week. It was freezing.
I don't know. What was it today, Ben? Like, it didn't seem that cold.
Today was like
rainy.
I don't know, 50 degrees maybe. It was rainy, and I mean, it was chilly, but it wasn't like freezing.
Yeah.
We're 32 here today-ish. So that was probably like the high, and that felt warm because it's been cold. So I was like, oh, this is pretty warm right now. It's kind of funny how what's
shorts
that?
Weather. You're wearing shorts?
Not shorts, but yeah. It was a lot more comfortable working and using tools without gloves on. So that was nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny how your body like gets accustomed to the different weather temperatures, and you're like, oh, it's warm now, and it's really not.
No, I know.
When it warms up to
I had plenty
30
of
degrees after being in the teens, it feels warm.
It's like I knew plenty of people in California that never even owned a jacket. And they wore shorts all day, every day, no matter what weather. Like it wasn't like a huge deal, you know, like no jacket and wore shorts every day. So who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I got a snowblower for the bigger TYM tractor that we have. I bought what do you got, like a 74-inch wide snowblower?
Does that go in the front or
it goes in the back?
Oh, okay.
So I plan on using it for cleaning up around like the barnyard and just lift snowbanks and stuff like that. And I didn't want one in the front because we have the two tractors and we're always switching implements. So I didn't want to have a snowblower on there and have something else to have to change. So if it's on the back, I can always have it on the back like a counterweight and cleaning up the snowbanks when we need to. So
can you use a snowblower for anything else besides snow?
I don't know. I haven't tried yet. I was thinking about trying to chuck different things into it and
I mean,
see what kind of trouble we could get into.
See if they'll blow wood chips.
Probably not, I guess, but yeah.
I was thinking like a pumpkin or a watermelon and see what happens.
That would be cool.
Apples, maybe. Start small, work our way up.
Yeah. Or like a pile of compost.
Right. I know. I was saying that. I'm like, man, if there's too bad you couldn't like retrofit this like for wintertime for snow blowing and then like for a compost mixer in the summertime. I'm like, that would be ideal.
Yeah. It sounds practical.
Right. Or,
I don't know. Maybe not, but
or if there's a way you could mount. I wonder if that would be something like if you could mount an arm off of it, like an arched arm, like or something, so you could like hook it up to the gearbox, but then have it offset or something, so then you could drive through your compost and turn it for you.
It's like those
There you
big
go.
windrow turners. Those are cool.
Yeah.
but like, I mean, it could go through like compacted like snow.
It can to a point.
Hmm.
Yeah, it gets clogged up. It'll get clogged up at some point. The PTO shaft on it has a clutch, so if it gets into anything like too terrible, it'll just clutch out and it won't spin. So that way you don't have to worry about breaking anything. But it's one of those things. It's like I'm glad I got it, but if I don't have to use it, it won't hurt my feelings either.
I see. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, we'll definitely need it. We've had some nasty years, but
How deep does the snow have to be before you break that out?
that will be like cleaning up the barnyard and making it so we have room. So we'd probably have to get probably a good 6+ inch snowstorm before I broke that out. Or if we got like a bunch of small snowstorms, like I might have to break it out tomorrow because we probably have 6-ish inches right now. And then if we get another 2 inches tonight, I might break it out tomorrow, clean it up because I'm supposed to be getting 2 inches of rain the next day. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'd have to clean up everything before it turns to a slush mess. It's kind of crazy, like with you guys, or like just being in a northern climate. There's so many different like parts and pieces you have to plan for, and it's like being down south. It's like, man, like you guys don't have to plan for any of that stuff. It's kind of nice. But then I guess on the other hand, if you do get snow, like your towns must shut down. If 18 inches, like with the stores closed, the roads must have been closed when that happened.
Yep. No going to work.
Man, like 6 inches a couple years shut the whole place down for 3 days.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna be prepared for it. Do you guys have snow shovels?
Nope.
I do.
You do? Nope.
But it's kind of like a plastic toy. I use it to sweep up my barn now.
Right. So we have a bunch of them. We use it for cleaning out the cow stalls. But if we didn't have snow all the time, I probably wouldn't have a snow shovel, so I'd be using probably a different shovel. But,
yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
Not really.
So after we got that done, I was like, all right, now we need, because actually we were supposed to get, I was building the axe. I'm like, okay, we were calling for 8 inches of snow, and I think we got like 1 or 2 inches. So that was kind of a disappointment. I was like, okay, I got to build the snowblower. So I got it all built, and I'm like, all right, we got 1 inch or 2. I guess we're not using it today. So I'm like, that's kind of like climactic for the YouTube video. I built my snowblower and we can't even use it.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Oh well. Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait, but the video's still got to go out.
Yeah, there's no payoff at the end.
Nope. I was like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh man, you're just gonna have to wait.
Right. Cliffhanger. Stay tuned till next time.
Yeah, that's like building a chicken coop or a brooder, and you have no chickens to put in there.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing.
But for video's sake, it's kind of boring. But then on the same hand, it's nice to have the projects done before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like we're like, all right, we got to move our winter pigs, and with a livestock trailer, we're trying to get pigs into a livestock trailer. It can be a pain. So Joel Salatin has that pig ramp in his book, so we built that. But it was awesome. We built it, but we didn't get to move the pigs until later on because we were building that. The next day we go outside to finish building it. The pigs got loose the day before we were going to move them. So we were wrangling the pigs for a couple of hours trying to get them back in. We got 2 of them in, and then the last one, which we call her Sweet Potato, she's going to be the one we breed. So we're like, oh, well, maybe we'll build a little like corral so we can corral her over to Yukon and get her in his pen. So when we go to move them tomorrow, they'll be together. Nope, she wasn't having it. So I was like, I guess we'll put her back with the girls, and hopefully tomorrow it'll go better. So we got the ramp built. I will say that made a huge difference for loading the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the past we've done it with a horse trailer, which has a ramp. That was nice, but it's kind of weird because you can't really like close them in quick and easy. So the trailer we have now, I guess, is more of a horse trailer, but it doesn't have a ramp. It's got a side door. Well, the door opens to the side. And we've always loaded the pigs in the past without a ramp, and you're always fighting them and pushing them in, and it's like a half hour or longer. It seems like you're fighting the pigs. Yeah, it's got probably like an 8-inch step. And you're always fighting them. You would think like, oh, it's just an 8-inch step. The pigs will go up and in.
Yeah.
They want nothing to do with it.
That's funny. The only time I've done it, the first time I'd done it, I borrowed Justin's trailer, and he has a step there. And me, first time raising the pigs, I was like, that's not a huge step. And they actually, I don't know if I got beginner luck, but they actually just stepped up. Like there was no issues at all. Like these pigs just stepped up and walked right in. Like it was so easy. Everyone, like, I didn't even think that they would not step up, until after the fact. And then people were commenting on the video saying, I can't believe they went in. Like it's usually not like that. So it's kind of funny. But
usually we'll have them like they'll step up right away, but as soon as they get like 2 feet in, something startles them, or if it's like they're at an angle and they don't like it, and then they just like back out. It's like, oh, I thought this was going to go smoothly, and then a half hour later you finally get them in.
Yeah,
but that ramp made it like so easy. I mean, it's heavy. We made it out of pressure treated lumber that wasn't dry, so it was heavy. But I'm like, it's convenient.
It take 2 people to lift it.
We used the tractor with the pallet forks because it would have taken more than 2 people with how wet the pressure treated lumber was.
Wow.
Yeah, we had some lumber left over from the fence build, and it was like the uglier looking pressure treated stuff. So I'm like, we'll use it. It'll last.
Yeah.
So we finally got the pigs moved. We have our original smaller barns that we built, and we've used them so far for goats. And then we had a Azalea and Cookie in them, and then now we got the pigs in them. So we had to clean them out, get them ready. Then we got electric fence up. I tested it. We were at like 4 kilovolts. Like that's good enough for the pigs. They've already been trained to electric fence. That'll keep them in. So we have the 2 pigs that were going to get processed in one pen, and then we put Yukon in the other pen, and then we put sweet potato in with them. That went well, and then later on that night, actually, I went and checked the beaver traps, and then it was getting later. When I came back, it was almost dark, and I'm like, the pigs are out. I'm like, oh, just what you want to do when it's about pitch black out. So I got them in, and they walked right back out, right through the fence.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
really? Yeah, and it was hitting at 4.
They just got shocked, and they're just like kept going.
They just kept going.
Mm.
So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get the pig netting and put the pig netting around the outside of the other electric fence. So they kind of have more of a barrier.
So what were they getting out of? The single strand?
So I have this like, it's probably like a 4-foot high fence, but it's all single strand wire. Like there's 2 low ones. There's one like, I'd say like ankle height, and there's one at like knee height, and they just walked right through those strands. But so we put the fence up, and then in between then I found a place where the fence was arcing out, fixed that, got that to like hitting at 8, and they haven't touched it, but you can see them now. Like they'll go up to it and they'll sniff it. So I don't know what it is, but as soon as the fence started hitting at 8, there was something that they could sense, and they don't go within 6 inches of the fence now.
Wow.
So I just thought that was crazy.
If it's hitting at 8, I've seen the same thing with our pigs. I wonder if it like ionizes the air when it clicks.
There's no clicking right now either, though. I don't get it. But yeah, it's got to do something. Like you just see them go up to it, sniff, and they just stay right there. They won't go any closer.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's just, it's a certain amount that they're like, okay, I could feel that.
Right. Yeah. Something's tingling in their senses. They're like, yeah, no, I don't want to touch that one with my nose. But by the time I got that done, it was dark, and I'm like, I hope they stay in, because like it's dark out. We have headlamps on. Like I don't know what to do, but they did. So I was like, all right, hopefully in the morning they're still in, and they were, and they haven't messed with it.
Wow.
So we gave them, what was it? This spring, we got hay bales that were wrapped in plastic, and never getting wrapped hay bales before. I was like, I'm going to take them. I unloaded them and I set them down. So like they're like this. I didn't stand them up with the flat top up. I put them round because in my head I'm thinking, okay, it's round. The water's going to shed off of them. Like that's the smarter way to set a wrapped hay bale. If you put them up flat, the water can sit on the flat spot. No, the water gets in when they're down in the plastic. So all the hay bales are wet and the cows won't eat them. So we give them to the pigs and the pigs like them. But what everybody
How's the
told
water
me,
go in? How's the water go in?
I don't know. What everybody has told me now is there's more layers of plastic on the flat spots. So you stand them up with the flat spots up. I don't know. That didn't make sense to me.
That would have been nice to know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should be like a stamp on the paper or on the plastic. This side up.
This side up. I don't know. Just in my head, I'm like, okay, it's arched. The water's just going to flow off.
Yeah. Right.
Because if they're not wrapped, that's the way you put them. Is arched side up.
Mm-hmm.
So lesson I learned. So if you guys get wrapped hay bales, put the flat side up.
So how
Noted.
many were all wet? A bunch?
I think I got 9, and I think we have like 7 of them that. So it's weird. Like some of them, like one of them is like fermented that we just put out, and then the other one is like bone dry, but you don't know it until you open them. So
yeah,
the pigs don't care. They have fun with them. I've been surprised with how much hay they are eating by having the round hay bales out. This morning we went out and I went to go give grain to Yukon and Sweet Potato. Their feed dish was still full of grain. The other pigs ate all theirs. So I'm like, okay, they're eating a lot of hay. They're not eating their grain.
That's good.
It's some good hay.
Then we made an appointment for. Right. I'm hoping that it'll help make their meat a little bit better, but we'll find out. We made our appointment for getting the pigs butchered and cookie. So we'll get the pigs butchered in February, and then cookie will be in April.
Okay. Are those the Idaho?
The Idaho pasture pigs are going in February. Yep.
Okay.
So we found a USDA inspected place so we can sell the meat if we want afterwards.
How far is that from you guys?
What's that?
How far is that place from you guys?
I think it's like half hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's not bad. I don't think this meat will sell. But I want to like test them out and try it out first before we go ahead and commit to raising animals to sell. So
You never know.
you never know. We got to figure out the label process now. But,
yeah.
It's like one of those, I'm like, I wanted to butcher them myself, but I'm like, I also want to try. I think I'd rather try out the butcher first before I commit to having, say, like 5 or 10 of them processed and then have a hiccup or have the label not correct and have the inspector shoot down the label and then everything's kind of.
I would suggest that.
Yeah.
You got to test them out. And I also think if you're going to go that route, to always use the same processor.
Yep.
Just so that way they know you and you know them. They know what you want.
Yep. So they do custom meat cutting and then they do USD, like commercial for USDA inspected. And it's only 5 cents more a pound to go the commercial route, USDA inspected versus custom. So I didn't think that was bad.
Yeah, that's good.
So we'll see. I'm excited to have a date for Cookie.
She's
can't wait to have
what? She's the.
So Cookie is our Azalea, which is our milk cow. It's her calf, which is a steer.
Oh, okay.
And he'll be just over 2 years old at that point. So Azalea's due in June. So maybe his date's June. I think that's what it is. He's going in June. He was born in April. So he'll be like 2 months past, over 2 years old. So we're waiting till she calves before we bring him to the butcher shop. Because we figured she probably wouldn't like being alone. So
I think that's going to be a tough one to take to the butcher.
He's going to be a pain to get in the trailer. I'm looking forward to having him in the freezer. I'm looking forward to some good steaks.
Yeah.
Make sure you get some
That's
weights.
I mean, just
I'd be
because you had
curious
him
to
for
know
so
how much he
long,
weighs.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. We just put a round bill out for them for the first time, trying to fatten him up, get some. I mean, he's good size now. He's just as big as his mother. So I'm like, okay, we'll put a round bill out there. We'll plump him up. I got some NutriBalancer, like not that we got poultry balancer coming, and then we have some beef balancer coming. So I've heard good things about putting him on that to really give the meat a good taste.
Is he
Getting ready for
is
it.
he weaned yet, or is he still nursing?
Nope. So he was nursing until Azalea got pregnant, and then she weaned him. So it's probably been 3-4 months that he's been weaned.
Still, that's a long time to be nursing. That's going to be some good meat.
Yeah. I hope so. 2 years is a long time to have to wait.
That is, man.
Just means you need more cows.
It is. I know. We got them, but they're going to be 2 years off too. So I'm like, this year, I'm like, come spring, do I look for one that's already a year old? And then we'll be, like on the right bandwagon? Or
yeah. That's what's hard.
Yep.
Because that meat's not going to last you 2 years.
Nope. And then I'm trying to figure out, do we process both of the other pigs we have? They're both gilts, or do we keep one and have 2 breeders? Too many questions.
Decisions.
I guess it depends if you could sell all that meat.
Right. That's the thing. It's like, but if you sell it all and then you got to wait to get another sow, it's like you're waiting 7 months before you can breed them again. So it's like, what do? You put the chicken in front of the cart?
Yeah, I know. That's hard. Or you just have a bunch of pork.
Right. Have a bunch of suckling pigs on the roaster.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
That's when you have a big old
where it's at.
Yep. So that's been my week in a nutshell.
That's a good week. How about you, Ben? You get through those classes safely?
Nearly. We did have one of the students did cut himself on one of those knives. Literally like the last piece of meat we were cutting up. We were getting ready to grind, and he just wasn't paying attention and grabbed the wrong side of the knife. But other than that, everything went perfect. The weather was ideal for doing this. The morning of the class, like Friday, I think I got up that morning. It was like 17 degrees. It's pretty cold. Everything went perfect. The shot, sticking, like everything went perfect. The scald was perfect. Like the scald came out really nice. Trying to think. Okay, so there were a few things that did kind of just ridiculous, just fumbles. So we're using the tractor, right? So I was getting ready to gut the pig, and the pig was just a little too low for where I wanted it. Or was it too high? I forget. But I got back on the tractor, turned the tractor on, raised the boom up just, 6 inches, something like that. Mind you, like we've already taken the head off, so there is meat exposed. I hope this isn't too much information for some people, but if people aren't aware of what we do for a living, like you listen to the wrong podcast. Okay, so I shut off the tractor. I go to get off the tractor, and I have my knife scabbard on my hip. Well, I'm not paying attention to where the knife scabbard's going, and as I go to get off the tractor, the knife scabbard grabs the boom handle and lowers down the boom into the muck. So all of a sudden, all the students are like, whoa, 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 hey. And I look up and I see the pig in the mud, and I was like, oh. So I untangled my knife scabbard and turned the tractor back on and lift it back up. I hosed it off. It was fine. It was fine. It was all stuff
The
that
meat?
gets trimmed. Yeah, the meat was fine. We just trimmed a little bit more off that end the next day. But other than that, that was the only mishap on day one. But I kind of joke to people, a lot of the classes just they go by without any hiccups whatsoever. And I've said that at our classes, like, yeah, like I almost wish something would go wrong, because that's how you learn, is overcoming, obstacles.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit of an obstacle, just kind of a boo-boo on my part, not paying attention. But it was good because it kind of got me to start paying attention to stuff and my surroundings a little bit. So I had something I've never had happen before. While I was gutting the animal, the part of the intestines ripped. Like, all I did was just touch something, because you're bringing everything outside of the body cavity, and it was right up next to the stomach, just ripped. I just touched it and it ripped. And people are kind of like stepping back, like, uh-oh, I see something. And I start looking, and it's, it wasn't poop at that point. It was too far up the digestive system. But I start looking at it, and it's just feed. Like, it still looks like feed and maybe a couple wood chips. And, I was able to point that out to people. Be like, this kind of stuff happens. You don't have to freak out. You just wash stuff out. I was like, when it happened, all of the offal is already outside of the body cavity anyways. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, there's a few hiccups. This is our last class that I'm teaching. So I don't know. It was all right. I'm not mad. I'm glad that stuff like that happened, because I was able to just, like, hey guys, like, stuff like this will happen, and don't freak out. Just move on. Clean stuff up. Make sure everything's clean. Pointing out that the entire inside of the animal is covered in a really thick membrane. That, like on the ribs, that's the membrane you peel off when you go to cook ribs. Like, the whole animal is covered in that. Like, if you get something on that, just hose it off. Like, you're all good. Then we, so Jason let me borrow his trailer. I have it over here. I had it plugged in, and checking it, it was actually warmer than it was outside. And so I had my little infrared thermometer, and so I had Corbin walk around. I was like, hey, just like I would really, really like to just hang this pig, because it makes it better for cutting, because all of the bones are all straightened out if you can hang it. And so we kind of walked around, and the shady side of the barn, the far side of the barn from where we were working, was it was like, I don't know, 30 degrees in the shade. By that point, I think by noon it warmed up to about, I don't know, 37, 38 in the sun. The sun felt good, but it was still really cold. Well, I happened to walk up into the top of the barn to grab something, and right through the door, the entryway right there, I noticed it was really cold. So I grabbed the thermometer and I checked. It was 23 degrees right in the top of the barn, right there in the entry. So we brought the pig in, and we hung both halves right there in the entryway. And then, we had lunch and stuff like that. And this was a really good group of people. I'm really happy that this is our last class, and it kind of ended on a high note. This was a fun group. Like, everybody got along. There was a lot of smack talking, but like good smack talking. Like, everybody's just making jabs at each other. And there's a guy named Joseph who wanted to split the hog, and so I let him split the hog. And if you've ever split a hog by hand with a handsaw, it's very hard to make a nice straight cut. And it's the first time he's ever done that, so it got a little wonky in a couple places, but he did really good. Well, man, you would have thought everybody was an expert, because people were just razzing him. The people were razzing him the next day. It was just like, all right, it was a good group. So, so the next day, Saturday, get up to start day 2 to cut up the pig. I go out there, and I drain all my water hoses, because we have the sink hooked up. I drain everything the night before, go up there, and there's just like little places where water didn't drain out of. And so there's just little ice dams. I had a water line bust on the sink, but luckily I had a spare line, so I was able to get it fixed. But it took me like an hour and a half Saturday morning to figure out exactly where, hoses had like a small ice dam in them that were, blocking everything. And then it was so cold that if you get the water flowing, keep it flowing. Otherwise, if you, hook it all up, everything's cool. You stop running the water, check back in 15, 20 minutes, it's frozen solid again. So I had to leave the sink running for, a good while once I got it all working, just to keep the hoses from freezing up again. So that was kind of a struggle. It was 14 degrees on Saturday morning when I got up to start doing chores. That's pretty cold for us.
Yep.
I walked into the barn and I happened to look at the pig. I was like, man, that looks pretty cold. And I touch it, and both halves of this pig were frozen solid. And I mean like rock solid.
Dang.
It was a pig sickle.
Wow.
So
Sounds like our pig butchering days.
I mean, hey, this is the time of year to do it. I don't think I saw a single fly the entire weekend. Like, that was the perfect weather to do this. So, I got some space heaters going on in the barn. We pretty much ran space heaters the entire day because it was nice and cold. Had a space heater kind of pointed at the pig hanging to kind of defrost it a little bit. Well, when did we start at 9? So I had a space heater in there for probably an hour and a half before people got there, and it was still frozen. We took it down from where it was hanging, and it was like, I felt like I was carrying a piece of wood over to my table to break it down. Got it over there, plopped it on the table, had some space heaters on there. We got it pretty warm. By the time we started cutting, like, it was pretty frozen. Like, it's really hard to rip the fat out of the body, but got it done. I will say I've never had my fingers that cold. There was one point, I think it was my ring finger went so numb, like I couldn't feel it. Like, it kind of felt weird. It was like I could feel burning in the bone, but that was about it. Like, it was frozen. So I think I text Al a picture of the frozen pig. He's like, "You got cold fingers?" I was like, "Yes, I do." So it was all right. We had hot water at the sink. Like it was all good. Like, I was able to keep my fingers warm. But class went good. Class went really good. By the end of the class, I'm watching people exchange numbers, and like, it was good. It's kind of like a social event as much as it is a class.
That's cool.
Aside from that, there was actually something I kind of debated on talking about this, but I'll talk about it, kind of get your guys' input a little bit. I'll try to make it quick. So you guys remember I put a couple guinea hogs. I put 4 guinea hogs in 2 tractors and tractored them around on the grass, just kind of as an experiment. I think we're just about at a month that they were in there, and they did really, really well. Like, I'm talking really well. These pigs started outgrowing, as far as just getting fat. They were getting fatter than their brethren back in the pen. They were eating less grain and they were eating more grass. And honestly, I was going to keep going because I was amazed at how fat these little piggies were getting. Well, something I noticed is down there in the bottoms where I was running them in the wintertime, sun never shines on those pastures. Like, sun never reaches the ground. And when we have those days where it gets into the teens like that, the grass never thaws. Like, it's still green down there, but all of the grass is frozen solid. Like, you can walk through the grass and it makes a weird crackling noise as you walk through, even in the middle of the day. Well, I noticed that it seemed like they were having a hard time the longer the cold weather went on. And we had a run of about, I don't know, it was a solid week where it was in the teens every single night. Well, I went out there Thursday before the class, and I noticed that they looked like they were cold, like they were huddled. They weren't really interested in food, and I was getting tired of hauling water to them every day because their water system on those tractors is non-operable, frozen solid. Well, I went out there and I noticed it looked like they were pretty cold. Like they were huddled together and shivering. I was like, all right, I got to end this. I got to put them back in the pen. It's warmer in the pen, and there's more bodies in there if they need to keep warm. So I picked them all up, took them back to the pen. They rejoined their brethren just fine. Well, that was Thursday. So then Friday and Saturday, I didn't really look at any of them. Like I didn't do a pig inspection those 2 days. I just went out there, fed them before class. That kind of thing. Well, yesterday, Sunday, I went out there and I like my pigs. I go out there, I talk to them and see if everybody's doing all right.
Mhm.
Well, one of the pigs in the tractor, I called him Ratty because he had like a really like abnormally long snoot and he kind of had a rat face. He's kind of ugly, but I mean, guinea hogs are kind of ugly in a cute sort of way. But this one was exceptionally ugly. But he was like super friendly. He was the friendliest out of all of them. I'd walk in the tractor and he'd just walk up to me and want belly scratches, like good little pig. Well, I start looking in the pen and it's like, where's Ratty? I can't find him. And so all the pigs are around me, expecting feed because I'm in there at an odd time. And I don't see him. I start looking around and I see one lone pig standing by the house. And he's like standing on 3 legs. He's got his one front leg up. And as soon as I see him, it's like, okay, that's Ratty. I walk over there and it's like, oh, there's something wrong with him. And I notice it looks like he got stung by bees. His face is swollen. His eyes are swollen shut. His leg and his foot is all swollen. And it was like, whoa, what's wrong with this guy? So I walk over there and as soon as I touch him, he's like on fire, burning up on fire. So I've never seen this in a pig. So I dragged one of those tractors over there by the pig pens and I separated him out and, kind of made a pig hospital. Gave him his own food and water and he's eating and drinking, but he can't see. Like I had to pick him up and put him by the water bowl. And as soon as his nose touched it, he was like, oh, okay, here we go. Gave him a big pile of hay to, get him off the ground. And as soon as I gave him that, he burrowed right into it and went to sleep. And so checking him throughout the day yesterday and today, I mean, he doesn't look like he's getting any better. We've given him a whole bunch of, we call it magic water, apple cider vinegar, a B vitamin complex, all sorts of stuff in his water, and he's drinking it just fine. We gave him some activated charcoal in his food, and he ate that all right. But other than that, I don't know. I've looked him over. I'd given all those pigs a whole bunch of hay, and I kind of wondered if maybe there was something in the hay, like a snake or something. But being in the teens like this, there's not going to be a snake. At least I wouldn't think so. We do have copperheads, but I don't know. It's a little late in the season to have snakes, but he does look like he got bit or something. So I don't know. Have you guys ever had a sick pig like that?
Not like that. It always seems like a stomach ache or something. A pig that I got, but not swollen like that. That's crazy. And there's no bites that you noticed.
Yeah, he's isolated and he's not real mobile. Like he doesn't really want to move. And so I really went over him today. It's like, well, go ahead and complain. I'm gonna look for a bite or something, like try to figure out what's wrong with him. And so, against his wishes, he was protesting. I rolled him around and I picked through his hair trying to find a bite. There was it looks like he got chomped on his ear by one of the other pigs a while ago, because there's kind of a bite mark, but it's not infected or anything. I don't know. There's no obvious like bite mark or something. I've been through my pig books trying to find, all the common ailments that pigs will deal with, and nothing's fitting the bill. So I don't know, maybe he got bit by something. Maybe it was a spider. Who knows? Like, I don't know. His feed hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is he was out on the grass and he's been back in the pen for 2 days. So I don't know. I'll do some more research. I'm sure
if he's still eating.
Yeah, that's a positive. Like usually when they're sick, like good luck trying to get them to eat. Like if they're not feeling good, they don't want to eat, they don't want to drink, and you just watch the downward spiral until they die. But it really surprises me when I put food and water in front of him and he's just like, oh heck yeah. Like he slurped a whole ton of water and then went over to the feed and just chowed down. So I don't know. I'll keep looking into stuff, seeing if I can see what's going on. But
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I'd keep giving him charcoal too, as long as he'll eat it.
Yeah, charcoal's definitely on his menu.
I think
it surprised me he ate it. Usually they don't eat it. But I don't know. We'll see. And he's not acting, he doesn't have diarrhea or anything like that. He's still, pooping just fine. So I don't think he's ill that way.
Yeah. Our piglets this year, I think we had them for a couple of weeks to a month, and they started getting lethargic. They were eating and drinking, and they got like hives almost. I think we probably had them 2 weeks. I'm like, they hadn't gone outside yet. They were still in the barn. Nothing has changed since we've had them. So we just kept feeding them the normal rations, and we were just making sure they got the charcoal, and we were giving them alfalfa, and they seemed to like that. But it took probably I'm going to say it took a good week for it to go away. And then they still had like the hivey bumps, I think, for a couple of weeks, even after they were feeling good before. And I have no idea what it was. I don't know if they had something when we got them or what it was, but it was definitely different.
Pigs are tough. It would take a lot, I think, to kill a pig.
Yeah.
But I guess as long as he's eating and drinking, I think I don't know, maybe he'll pull through.
Yeah, it just kind of surprised me. I've never seen a pig get all swollen. Like legit, he looks like 1,000 bees stung him on the face. Like his snoot's all swollen, his eyes are swollen shut and tight shut. Like I went and tried to pry his eyes open to look at his eyes, and it's just swollen tight shut. So, I mean, he can breathe fine and he can definitely squeal. So I know his airways aren't obstructed.
Wow.
That's the way it works, though. Like, the one that you like is the one that gets sick. Like, anytime we've had a chicken that just has a cool personality, you turn around and that chicken's sick and dying, and it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, that was the one that wouldn't be on the menu.
Yeah.
Right.
So, other than that was pretty much my week. It was a busy weekend, but I'm glad that we have a good month and a half before our hand-hewn class. So we're ready for Christmas now. We're ready to settle into the Christmas season.
That's good, man. Your hand-hewn, you sold out for hand-hewn?
Yeah, the hand-hewn class sold out, and there's a few extra people we've invited. So it's going to be a full house.
That's great, man.
That's
Can't
cool.
wait.
So what about you, Jason? How'd your week go? Did you get into some fencing?
Tis the season. Tis the season for fencing. It ain't the year. My year starts when I dig that first hole. Yeah, it doesn't start on January 1st. It starts when I dig that hole. So this week I've just been trying not to get sick because the girls have been sick for the last week, maybe 2 weeks. Just just coughing, sneezing, like everything, and I'm just like, man, I just stay away from me. So I just been like,
I gotta do. I can't.
Yeah, I gotta go dig a hole. I can't be inside. So luckily I haven't got sick at all. So, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing, but
it's that sunlight.
Yeah,
fresh air.
Yeah, I've just been trying. Yeah, I've been trying not to get sick. So that was my main goal this week, and it's working. So, but just today, I think the girls though they're starting to feel a lot better now. I'm still kind of getting over it, but not how they were. So we're looking good. So this week I started another fencing project. This one's like the whole project is going to be, I think it's about a 1 acre maybe.
What's this?
If that.
What will the area be for?
This is kind of it's closer to our house. It's more like where our big barn, around our big barn. Because I kind of half did the fencing last year around the barn, but I didn't complete it. And actually, I mean, if stray dogs were to come in, this was the spot that they were coming in.
Okay.
And my goal is to fence this area so that way there'd be a fence to walk down to the barn. Before you hit the barn, you hit the fence.
So this be like a closed off paddock? Like, so if you wanted to put sheep out there, it'd be like closed in for that, or no?
Yeah. There'd be one. It could be 2 paddocks, but yeah.
That's cool.
I guess it's mainly, I'm actually doing it because, well, for one, the dogs, neighbor's dogs, but another reason, because when we butcher animals down by the barn, like, it kind of be like a holding area for them. Like when we did that, one of them steers, Ben, and my shot wasn't very good, and that steer could have easily took off out in the street somewhere or the neighbors, and it didn't. But like we weren't really fenced in, so it could have easily done that. And
yep, that's always in the back of your mind.
And then ever since then, I was like, okay, I need to enclose this whole area for that reason, or even just to keep them there, until we're ready to put the animal in the freezer. So that's my goal. It's not, it's not a huge project how it was, but it's still, it's a good project still. So still doing that. We'll see when I'll finish that. I don't know. But what else? So in between that, we got a chance to plant garlic finally. Typically we plant garlic in maybe October, November, when it's still, not as cold. But this is probably the latest we've planted it. And we had all the garlic sitting there in our kitchen. We're just haven't got out there and done it. And finally this week we did it, and it's a little bit warmer this week, so I think it might be all right. I think we should be fine with it. I don't know. So we did the raised beds, 2 raised bed garlics. Not as much as we did last year, but it's something, and we'll see if it grows. It'll be a good test. And then, so we wanted to clean out the greenhouse, because we're pretty much done in the greenhouse as far as growing food. And I mean, there's still, the remnants of a garden. And so we moved our chickens in there, our egg layers. And I was reluctant of doing that because they're just going to ruin our nice healed rows. Yep. But, they are going to improve the soil. So we'll see how it goes. I'm always worried about doing that too, because I picture them just pecking the plastic to death, But we'll see. I'm going to monitor them. I put 2 100-foot chicken nets all the way around the greenhouse and energized it, so they should be safe. And I put their coop in the greenhouse, and they're just going to stay in there. I don't know, a few months maybe. We'll see how it goes. See what they do. I thought about putting the Cooney pigs in there, but honestly, the chickens are probably more destructive than the pigs.
Those are some gentle pigs if chickens are more destructive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they are. The only thing with the pigs, I think they would probably be the ones to rip the plastic.
Chew it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, they'll get curious and just start, next thing you know, they're tearing it up. So, you know, I guess you just got to pick one and see which one you like. So chickens are the winner.
For now, right?
Yeah, for now. See how they do. And who knows, maybe I'll put pigs in there too, but pigs will not till up that land. And yeah, maybe they're the better ones. I don't know, but
I can see it in a few weeks. There'll be a thumbnail. Chickens destroyed my greenhouse.
it'll be a good video. I know. I got holes in my greenhouse now. So yeah, what else? Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing fencing.
What are you doing for fencing after you get your posts in? Are you doing woven wire? Are you doing high tensile or?
I'm gonna be doing woven wire. I think this part of the fencing, because it's closer to the house and it's more of like a spot where we come in and out of. I think I'm gonna do like a wood fence, kind of similar to what you did, Al, with the 4 horizontal.
Yep.
Was it 1x that you put in, or
I did 2x6s.
okay, 2x6s?
Yep. I just figured just the cows, they want to get rough. They shouldn't break a 2x6, but they might a 1x6 or something.
Right. So some of that's going to be that, and then the rest of it's going to be the woven wire.
Yep.
Because I think part of it's going to be a chicken run, because I think it might be where an area where we might put a stationary coop, because I think the girls are tired of moving a coop and the netting.
Yep.
It's usually Penelope's job to move the chickens, and then Lorraine's there too. So they're like, "Can we just get a stationary coop and just move them there?" Which, you know, I like a stationary coop. I like the idea of, you know, creating more compost. You know, if we had some wood chips, throw the wood chips in there, and, you know, and just have them there. I do like that idea. And then maybe have the option too of like moving them out now and then, and, you know, leave them in there. Like probably more in the winter, we'll leave them in there, and then move them around. You know, just having different options. And eventually, I think we'll build one. But so part of that's going to be a chicken run, I think. But I think I'll be putting in more posts. Them even the 7 acres, because the 7 acres that I did last year, a lot of it was already done. You know, like I was just kind of reestablishing what was already there. So this time it's a new areas that didn't typically have a fence, so it's just a different, I guess, planning. So it's just fencing's kind of hard because it's so permanent.
It is.
Yeah. And then part of me was like, do I need a fence? Do I need to do this? And I don't know. Should I be concentrating on different things? You know, like, but I don't know. I like that. I like the idea of being fenced in, though.
Yeah, I say once you get it done, you'll be like, why didn't I do this like years ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
I bet. That's how.
Yeah. A lot of it's a peace of mind too.
Yep.
Because the whole area that I'm doing right now, like we didn't put the pigs weren't in this area at all year. Like no animal was in this area because it was not fenced in. But like, say if, you know, we have more piglets this year, like we can move her over in this area because it's closer to the house. And I can run electricity if I needed to, you know, and it just would be a better spot probably. So
when you get your sheep, you know, a place for your sheep.
It could be a place for them, yeah.
Yeah. You get your steers, you put them there until you train them to fencing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just gotta get there and get it done. But little by little, I'll get it done. So yeah, that'll be my workout this winter. And yeah, we'll go from there. But other than that, I mean, I think that's about it.
So you guys gonna do turkey or ham this year for Christmas?
Probably not turkey. I don't think. We'll probably do chicken. We'll probably do chicken and ham.
Chicken and ham.
I think so.
What do you guys do, Ben?
This year we're doing turkey. We're actually doing Jason's turkey that he gave us. I
Mm.
don't know. Like, we might cure a ham and have it ready for Christmas. I don't know. We haven't decided. I know I want a turkey because I feel like there's never enough turkey. At least there hasn't been the past couple years. But I don't know. A ham is pretty tempting.
I've been wanting to do one of them rotisseries over the open fire.
That'd be fun.
I mean, but then like I look at it and I was like, is that even? Am I gonna be here for like 20 hours?
Probably.
I mean, it looks cool and it seems cool and it's probably really good, but like the reality is you're gonna sit there like babysitting this fire till it's done, to who knows when.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if I want to do that, but I just want to try it. We'll probably smoke something though. Maybe the chicken. You know what? Lorraine made some, which is actually really good. She made bologna. You guys
Homemade
had
bologna?
bologna growing up, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, homemade bologna. And I guess it's supposed to be bologna, but it kind of had the consistency of Spam.
Hey, that's still good too.
You know, it's basically just it's like formed meat, right?
Yeah.
It's like formed meat. She cooked it, and then it was like this tube. It was like in this tube, and then thinly sliced it, and it's like deli meat.
That's awesome.
And we used our pork, and like our pork, and it actually tasted. It had the consistency of a Spam, but it actually tasted like a hamburger patty, like a beef hamburger patty.
That's
like
cool.
A thin slice. It was really good. It was really good. I was like, it was the first time trying it. I was like, we got to do a video about this. So maybe, but it actually turned out really good. Yeah, stuff like that. Like you would never try stuff like that if you didn't grow it yourself.
Yeah, stuff like that. We I think it was last summer. We made some like chicken lunch meat. The same thing. You grind up the chicken and you form it into a log, and you let it set up and all that, and then you slice it real thin. And it tasted like, if you've ever gotten chicken lunch meat, they say it's chicken breast, but it's not a chicken breast. Like, it's obviously meat pushed together and sliced. But it tasted like deli meat. And like realizing how much work goes into like deli meats and stuff like that, I have a new appreciation for the delicatessen. Like that's a whole art in itself, just like charcuterie. Like that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. But I would love to get into making stuff like that.
Process.
Like we eat good anyways. Like not only do we eat clean, but we're all eating like really good food. But then sometimes it's like I kind of want, the food I grew up on, like lunch meat, stuff like that. Like, sometimes I miss that stuff. And so then the question comes up, can we make it ourselves?
Can you form it to make it look I want it to look like the McRib. Can you form it into a rib? Yeah, can you form it?
I'm sure
we did hot dogs a couple of times.
How did they turn out? Because that's something I've thought about doing.
Yeah.
The first time we made them, they turned out awesome. The second time, they tasted good, but I didn't have the emulsification right, so they were gritty.
But
a
pork?
Yeah, it's just because we were trying to emulsify them, to get that great consistency. And they were, when I say gritty, they probably just weren't like a fine enough grind. So when you're eating them, they just kind of had more of a texture to them than a hot dog would.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But they were good. I'm like, it's one of those things like, man, I want to get that down someday and get like,
that would be cool.
They make a special grinding tub for it. That's how they make them in the shops and stuff. It's like, if you had that tool, I think it'd be easy. But because I'm the same way. It's like, give me a good hot dog. Like, I want to eat a hot dog one day. That's delicious and good for you.
And having a good hot dog like that is hard to come by.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
You guys are making me hungry.
I know. That sounds good. That's what we're doing for Christmas.
Yep.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Chili dogs.
Yeah, homemade Spam. All right, guys. You guys have anything else? All right, I think we're good. All right, guys. So I appreciate everyone listening to the podcast and watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for all the great and kind comments and the thumbs ups that you give us and the emails. Really cool. I appreciate you guys, everyone listening, and I hope everyone has a great, awesome week. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Have a good week. If you try making hot dogs, let us know.
Yeah.
Later, everybody.
Or McRib.
Or McRib.
Homemade McRib. There you go.